here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the, no, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the.
Hey guys, Buck here, BTM Scale Modeling, and it's Monday. Getting back to work on the TOS Galactica, and as you guys probably, if you weren't able to read, I did the video I just put up not last weekend but the weekend before, but trying to learn how to remember how to use my camera and how to upload stuff. It took me a little bit, but until I start going back to work, or until I'm cleared to go back to work, I'm going to be putting these up once a week. So please, if you enjoy watching, that will be. And then, like I said, hopefully this week I'll finish up with Galactica and get started on a couple other kits. I'm going to do a couple of stack builds. I'm going to finish my dad's plane, and then I'm going to start one my wife bought me while I was in the hospital. It's a Huey, so hopefully I can make it look cool. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do until I start going back to work, is try to do these once a week, try to go day by day after I get done with therapy, and spend some time in the studio and show you the builds. And, you know, if you see something you like, let me know. If not, let me know. It's all learning. We're all a great community of builders, so if there's something you can think of that I could do better, let me know, because I'm still learning, and I'm always going to be learning. But as always, let's see. Guys, remember, click on the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And you click on that, and you'll know when I upload a video, since I'm getting back into the habit. For all of those that made comments on the last one, thank you, my friends. It's great to hear from you guys. And yes, I'm happy to be building. And also for my friends that were asking, yes, the Enterprise D will be getting fixed here in the next week or so, because that was the only thing that actually got damaged in my move to the house. Now, so it's going to be a quick and easy fix and get it glued back together. But other than that, we're going to get back to building, so stay tuned, guys. Alright guys, well here we are. This is, let me get here and show you. This is the underside of Galactica, and what I did was I shaded it with my spray black, and then I went back in, and what I used was a T.B.I. Very sky gray, so it gave me that almost whitish effect that I wanted, but didn't make it look like the old series on television when it was all just white. And yes, if you guys watch the video, you know I'm going to be doing some other detail work in here, the conduit lines, other things, the engines and all that. But just to show you, and I will show you guys when I do the bottom, but started getting the Aztecing on, and let's see. Let me do the overhead, maybe you can see better. There you go. Start seeing, it's just subtle, but, and yeah, it's kind of bold right now, but guys, you know, when I'll go over with the sky gray again and help tone it down, but there we go, starting to get it. And I'm really impressed, because that Aztecing just gives it more of a real, or more human built look to me. That the ship wasn't all built in one complete sections like the pods weren't built as a complete one. It was different pieces of metal together. So there we go. And yes, she is a beast looking. That sky gray really enhances the details that Mobius did on this kit. Let me get here. Sorry about the phone, but show you. Yeah, I got a little overzealous with some of the metal, because I used metal gray to help do that. I've tried a couple of different ones that I tried. I tried a dark gray or medium gray, and I didn't like the outlook. So I went with, my other choice was the metal gray, and I think it's looking great. So let me get reset here in a second, and for you guys that have never got to use the Aztecs, we will. And do not let me forget, because I'm going to, at the end of the video, I'll tell you where I go and find things like who makes the Aztec, and that I like to use, and the lights and stuff that I use. And so we'll see you guys in a minute. Catch you up real soon. Okay guys, welcome back. So I'm getting ready to put the Aztec detail on the bottom of the ship, and just so you guys know, I do this one here. I'm sorry about that, but this is made by a fellow modeler, Aztec Dummy. You guys should, if you've seen his videos, and you know, but he's a great model builder, and he does phenomenal work. He does a lot of things, but I use He does a lot of detail and research into creating these, and it's Aztec dummy. And you guys can find, if you got a ship or something you're trying to do, or like this is just a generic etching detail masks, as he calls them. You got the small one, which you'll see. You got the big one, which I'll use for a different color, but I want to do some other shapes with that. But you can go to culttvmanshop.com, I think it is. I'll double check before the end of the video. And that's where I get a lot of my Aztec stuff, or the masks that I use for, especially like when I go to do the NX01, I will be using Aztec Dummies creations. So, what we're doing right now is I've done a little bit on the edge, so you guys didn't have to see that. But we're going to take this, and you'll see. And basically, all I'm going to do is I'm not even going to stick it because I don't want it to be stuck. I'm going to hold here on the back. I've already got the paint mixed, and just kind of show you guys. And you see I don't spray real heavy because I don't want it to be too detailed, but you can see it starts showing up, and it's just edged. And again, however you want to do it, guys, because this is your creation, and they will be phenomenal. We'll have a little overspray, especially with this metallic stuff, so that's why I'm very generous with what I'm doing, because when I go back with that gray, the great thing about the overspray is it's going to give that whole ship that metal, look with some other things I'm going to do. But it's definitely coming along. So hold on here, and since this is a little bit better view for you, I'm going to do it this way, and we just move it over and spray, and then again, and then yeah, I got a little overspray. That's okay because I'll cover it up. But and then just kind of look at it, how you did it, and if you need to do a little more detail, do a little more detail. But be careful, and then just do it like that. So show you again here. So again, find how it's going to work great for you and your ship. I try to, with the way the kit's done, I try to make the Aztecing go in line with what's been shows on the decks of the ship, the separate little decks on the cast stuff. But that's what we're gonna do, and then you might have to switch hands every once in a while, but we are gonna. As you can see, it's not very close. You don't need to have it close. You don't need to have it crazy. You just need to get the detail in there, and that's what we're doing. Just spraying in detail. Just the detail. And then other details will be made when this comes. So now, like I'm on the flight pod, kind of do your sides. I said you don't have to go crazy with it, but make sure you're laying paint down. And then what I did is, now you can either go like this or like this, because when you do the blended paint, excuse me, you'll be able to tell. But as you can see, I'm starting to get those extra pieces just to help show. Like I said, make sure you're still putting out paint. And the metalizer is kind of fun, and then you might have to get a little closer, give it a little bit more raised detail. And like that. Just like so. And like I said, I've already gotten quite a bit over here done. Just do a little more, just so it shows like it's been there. Okay, and then right here on the so like the opposite side here, you can see is, if you can't, I'm sorry, but so let me zoom this out some more so you can see what I'm doing here, guys. Me and camera work again. But like for the opposite side, like the strut for the landing, or the bay, can do stuff like this to help get some details when I go do the other ship, and then making sure I get some detail into there. And yes, you will have some overspray, but again, that's okay because you're going to be using your blending coat again. So and sometimes just make sure your airbrush is still, you know, putting out what you want it to. So see, there's not much to it. It's just, you know, making sure you got the paint coming out, and just because a lot of things you're like, oh, what if I oversprayed that, or I didn't do that? Well, like I said, you blend, but sorry about the phone again. But when you come back to it, you can do, like, we're going to age up the engines a little bit, so it'll show a little more detail. But I'm just kind of adding a little bit of detail, not much, just a little overspray. And then, like, right here, I'm going to add some, and then right here. So it just adds a little bit. Not much, but just a little. Because we don't want to, we don't want these to be crazy detailed, you know, like we do on the Star Trek ships. We're just gonna let these just be light, be a little different. See how it breaks it up really, really nice. Yeah, let me turn that light off. So as you can see, you start to see that, and just breaks it up real nice and starts allowing you to see a little bit more details. So guys, I'm going to finish this up, and when we come back, I'll go ahead and get it all blended and tell you what I'm going to do next, guys. So stay tuned. See you in a little bit. Hey guys, welcome back. So I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing for the Aztec to enhance detail, and I thought about doing a couple other colors. I thought about maybe I'll do a little flat black, maybe a little flat white, but I changed it after I got to look. I kind of like what the gray metal gray did, and I want to keep that real light essence of the sky gray, throw it back to the original series of the Battlestar Galactica, but with my own little tweaking to it, my adding to it. Now what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try to show you the best I can, especially with me learning how to use a camera again. What we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start blending all this. And blending's pretty simple. Basically, you take your primary color, like me, I'm using Sky Gray, and move away from it. You know, make sure you got color coming out. But basically, all you're doing is just spraying it, and you know, you might have to do a couple of different coats, but you're spraying it to help blend it in. You bring in, so it's hiding those odd shapes, but it's leaving that color. So, like I said, you know, they'll be there. That detail will be there, but it's not going to be overbearing. And like I said, you might have to, even something you can do if you want is dilute it or thin it out a little more with your thinner, so it's a little bit lighter. It doesn't go on as heavy. So, you know, add a little bit more thinner, and just keep going. Now, like I said, I got it on my tray, and then, like I said, I'm just staying back. I just want it to dust the paint, and as you can see, when you add a little too much thinner, stuff starts to like to go its own way, especially out of the can. But as you can see, because of the thinner, excuse me a second. And that's the great thing about it is, even that I can clear up and cover up and take care of when let it dry a little bit, and then just watch your rotation, how much you're moving the brush. So, you know, just keep it back and just putting that primary color back on, not overdoing it, but putting it back on so it starts hiding some of that Aztec-ing detail. Now, like I said, I'm gonna probably do a couple more passes, and as you can tell, let's see if I can I'll turn the light off. And as you can tell, it's definitely, you still got that detail there, and sometimes even taking the light off, it kind of helps you see where it's hanging out at a little more, and kind of just go through and just spraying it back out and bending it down. And then like right here where this came up, I'll let that dry and I'll go dark, and I might add some accents later just to help break up that gray because it's spelt. And one thing I don't want to do, because I haven't sealed this paint job yet, is to go and hit it with thinner or something to try to dilute that, get that paint off, because then I'll just take the paint all the way down. So this is thing to learn, is when you thin your paints down really thin so you can spray more area and be further away, you might do like I just did and have that, oh, oops, got paint on the model, more than I wanted. But it's okay, because another good thing, see, this will be underneath, but like I said, there's piping going this way, so I'm going to be breaking that gray up, and I'll put some black effect to give it like it's been shot there, but getting that color in there, and it'll help break that gray up. But like I said, just you know, just kind of go over and just with the detail, and you know, you can see where some stuff actually stays out a little more, and you want to tone it down, and all it's doing is just helping us get that nice breakup of color. So, and keeping some of those dark colors there. And like I said, I turned the overhead light off, so now it really helps me just see those areas that I want to have the detail, but I want to have some of it, I don't want it standing out stark. So there you go. That's how you blend, how I blend colors back in. And I can show you once this really gets good and dry, I will definitely show you how it looks. And I'll probably even, what I'll do to help you, because my studio's downstairs in my house and I don't have a natural light coming except for, you know, the unnatural light. So what I'll do is, after I get it sprayed and get it dried, I'll take a video and show you what it looks like out in the daylight. You'll be able to see a lot better. You don't have all this crappy light, and the camera, you know, it's like, oh, Buck, it's bad. You know, camera adds effect to it. So just so you know, but I'll take it outside and take the camera out, and I'll show you a video of this all blended in, looking good. And then what I'll do is I'm going to seal it, and then I'll take some time, add what decals there are to it, and start with the detail work that I'm going to do, because as you can see, there's a lot of detail work on the underneath that'd be nice to see, but there's also a lot on top. So I'm not going to do overgressing on the detail, but I'm definitely going to want to show it. I want to enhance it. So guys, I'm going to do the top side as soon as this dries, and we'll see you soon. Hey guys, it's Tuesday and work is continuing on the Battlestar. So some things I did yesterday, if you can see it, and there around the engines and there. What I did is I took what I call, and you guys might know it or not, but I took black tulip, and the places on the Galactica that were where the sides go in to make this part of the ship is just one piece, this side. And at first it's like, okay, that's cool, it's an edge, but then the more I got to looking at it after I got this primary color down, the more I didn't like it. So what I did is I just went in with some black tulip, got it puffed up a little bit, got it a little more there, and sanded it down a little bit, and to try to make it look better. So that's one thing I did there. Normally, if I would have thought about it, I would have made it with putty, some Bondo putty, and then really just got in there and got it nice and square, but I didn't. So, but the tulip's going to do the job. And another thing I noticed, I thought that I had this pretty well light blocked, and I didn't. If you look here in this recess, I got some pretty good light patches in there, so I'm going to have to take care of that, and I'm going to show you how I can do that, or how you guys can do that, and then you can decide whatever you want to do. If I would have done better light blocking and got it all tested, and I did, and then nothing really showed up, and then all of a sudden it did after everything got really good and dry. So I'm going to fix this. This right here, if you can tell, let me just let it, right there where that trench is on the bow, likes to light up too, so I'm going to redo that, and I'm going to show you how I do that. And so that's where we're at, is just getting some stuff done before I get into more, just getting some of the smaller details done and get the primary paint done with the little bit of Aztecing I did. I did do the primer like I showed you guys. I did do the blend, and it looks really, really good. But I did notice some light leaks on this, so I'm going to take care of that, and we'll get back at it. So, see you guys in a minute. Okay guys, I'm back, and just kind of show you, if you can see without the lights blinding. So I sprayed inside there with just T.B.I flat black, and down in the trench, let me move this a little bit, let's see if I can get it to where you can see it. So, on both of these sides, as you can see, and yes, it did it. And then I noticed, because I plugged it back in, that I did have a little bit of leak around the bridge of the ship after adding the Aztec. So, gonna work on doing that, letting it dry, get some other things done, and then I'm gonna go back and paint it the primary color, not very dark, because these blacks will be a nice shadow, especially in those areas right there. If I can ever control this thing, right there. So I'm gonna let that black get really nice, good and dry, and set up and go. But while I'm doing that, letting that dry, oh yes, I am looking at the back. This is the exhaust ports for the main engines, and let me see if I can go in there. I just wanted to show you guys, I'm a big proponent that if it has flame or a point of flame, that it needs to get scored up a little bit. So that's what I did on the back. I didn't overdo it, just tried to accent it, and let me see if I can, so you can see. So when the color comes out, it's going to be fixed. But something I wanted to show you guys that I'm going to do with this is I'm going to pick up my clear styrene, and I'm going to cut a piece out for here, sorry about the phone, for here, and then I'm going to frost it, shade it, so it'll help diffuse the light in the back of the engine, and that will help it even reflect more and cast off more on that black. So I'm going to get reset, and I'm going to show you guys how I do that, and see you in a second. Bye. Okay guys, let me see if I can zoom in here for you and keep it in focus. Okay, that's probably pretty good right there. So as you can tell, this is the back part of that engine cowl, and try to work the camera here for you guys, try not to get it all jumpy. And little piece of let me unfocus it, just there we go, another piece of styrene. So basically all I did is I wanted to cut it into a rough shape, and just enough for the ship, something like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it down, and then I'm going to sand this. I want to give it a nice good roughed up thing, so that's what I'm going to do. Let me see if I got this right there. So stand by, and you're gonna go, what kind of glue are you gonna use, Mr. Buck, or Buck, whatever you want to call me? I'm just gonna use a little bit of my CA glue, so I make sure this is good and tight. And like I said, when I say a little bit, I say a little bit, just on the edge of what I've already done. And you're like, what are you doing? Well, I want to make sure that when I put this down, that it gets nice, good, and flat against that. And like I said, not a whole lot, just enough. And then all you're going to do is you put your styrene down, you make sure where you want it, and then you press. Make sure you get it to the edge, and then press. Now, the great thing about this glue is that it will set up in like seconds, very few seconds. I don't know if you guys have had the fun yet of with the CA glue, but oof, you mess up and you get your fingers stuck together. So that's how I'm going to do this engine. That's how I'm going to protect the inside so it doesn't look so light sharp, bulb sharp. And I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to sand that, and then I'm going to actually attach that because that's going to be the last part, and I'm not doing any more airbrushing on this part. I got to airbrush on the kit, cover up those tulip lines I did, and help hide a little bit of that on that black that I sprayed to help with those light blocks. But other than that, this is ready to go, except for sanding it down to help diffuse the light. And there we go. That's going to be next. And then, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and get the tulip and the black all back to the primary hull color I'm using. Check that out. If I like that, then I'm going to go ahead and clear gloss this. I mean, I want to protect this color. I want it to stay sharp. I want it to be there even when I go back and start doing some detail paints on this and what. Because if I mess up those detail paints with that nice gloss coat there, after it's good and dry, then I can use, you know, my thinner, and I can go in with my brush and clean that a little bit up. But that's for a little bit later. But yep, that's pretty much ready on the ship to go. But I want to get this done so I can get that glued in and call it good and see how that looks against the light. So I'm gonna get on that, guys, and we'll see when I get that done. And I'll let you look at how those lights came out. Alright, I haven't glued it down yet, but that was the effect I was going for there, guys. Let me go ahead and zoom out a little bit more there. Move some things around so you can see. But yeah, that's the effect I wanted to go for. From what I can see, it's looking really good. Now I gotta put it down, but I don't know. What do you think, guys? I think that's gonna work great. And then yes, you can see the landing bays and where the Vipers land, but that's what we were going for right there, getting that look. And as you can tell, it really helps get that bulb just diffused. I might do one more sanding out, and I'll take a look, try to diffuse a little more, but I think we're good right there. So I'm gonna get back at this part, and yeah, wow, getting her done. But yeah, so there we go. We do have engines go. All right, guys. See you in a while. Good afternoon, guys. It's Wednesday and getting back to work on Galactica. Yesterday I finished the primary hull paint, which I showed you. Then I went ahead, after it dried, I went ahead and got it a good gloss clear coat over. Now, yes, we're going to start working on the decals. Now I'm doing this before I do any weathering to it, because I want the decals, or as in the show, those were painted, but so they can show some of that weathering and stuff. So we're going to go ahead and put the decals on and keep going. Then while the decals are drying, I'm going to start working on this. This is what I'm going to go ahead and use as a base. It's one solid piece of wood. And what I like is the edges, so it has that nice design, and then I'm going to measure and get everything drilled, and on this I'm going to do a felt piece on the bottom, but I got to get that all figured out. So I figured, why not, while I am getting that done. So give me a second to set, guys, and I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of decals on the camera and show you how I do them and talk about the best ways to do them. And for all of you, I know you guys are great decal experts, but I'm going to do this for those just coming to my channel and maybe just getting started to build. I want to show them a technique that I've learned over the last couple of years of doing this. And, you know, that's what I want to do. I want to keep getting that knowledge up. So for you guys that are avid builders and old friends, you can skip it. But for you guys that have just joined the channel and just starting to see my builds and seeing how I do builds, I'm going to do this run. I'm going to do a couple of them so you can see how it goes. And I'll explain the techniques. And then I'll cut the camera and finish all the decaling and come back when it's done. So give me a second to get everything set up and ready to go. And we'll get back with the start of the bow decals. Alright, see you in a second. Alright guys, welcome back. We're getting ready to start the decals, and I'll kind of zoom in when I get going on that. But this is my tap water. It's warm, not hot, but warm. And then it's just 1 to 2 drops of dish soap. What this will do is it'll help with taking care of the binding that's on the decal sheet and make it easier to slide off. So, good idea is to have some Q-tips to help dab up the excess water, and a brush. There are going to be a couple brushes. I'll get the other one. You need one to put some water on the model, and that's going to help you move the decal. And then one, if you guys don't have it yet, get some microsol. This will help allow the decal to sit better and get into the model and look more detailed. So Let me find another brush here. So I'm ready. And basically, let me go ahead and try to zoom this in just a bit. So we'll get right to the ship there, but I want to show you this. So this is one of the decals. So as you can see, I cut it kind of big. Now what I did is, so one more suggestion, I would suggest having the instructions readily available so you can see what you're, where you're going. And then what you want to do is you want to take this and trim it down, make it a lot easier to work with, and you won't have too much overlay on the film. Because if you know decals, man, sometimes, guys, these things can get a little bit funky. Okay, so we're trimmed down and decals in the water. So now what I want to do is, first I'm going to open up my microsaw. So I have that ready. But I'm going to go ahead and get some water on the brush, and I'm going to get the brush where at least not going crazy, and then get some water into where I'm going to do it. That brush ain't working well. Get this one. And get some water there. Another thing you might want to have is a good set of tweezers. And as you guys know, I always have toothpicks. And toothpicks are a savior, especially when doing this part to the kit. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the decal. Oh. And sometimes you have to kind of worry about how long you let it sit. Some companies you have to let them sit forever, and then some, they're kind of crazy and they just come off right away. So get this up. Okay, so now, because I had to pinch that with the thing, I'm going to pick it up with my tweezers, and I'm going to use this, and I'm going to lay it down onto the kit and use this to help get it in there. So sometimes these things can be kind of crazy, and I do mean crazy. So now you see it's on there. Now we're just going to get it into place like this. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to get that excess water and push this decal down so it gets that good, get all that air out, hopefully. You get most of that air out. And there you go. Now the next step is dab my brush in and get the excess off. And then I just kind of wipe it. Sometimes you can say, oh my gosh, I got too much in there. But what you can do is take your Q-tip and just dab that out. So there we go, guys. There's one. So I'm going to go ahead and do the second one. Maybe I can do this one a little better for you. Don't lose it in the water, but we're all going to have that happen. So I'll show you a trick with that. So we have that paper. So if you notice the company you're using decals from, like T.B.I, Mobius, any of them, sometimes you can drop the decal in the water and let it sit, and it takes a minute or two for it to loosen up, or you drop it in the water and it's like instantaneous, like wow, it's already ready to go. So if it's kind of like that, which we're finding out with the Mobius decal, because they're a good company, is I'm going to make sure I have them in my tweezers at all times, and then I have an old kind of t-shirt just to dab that excess water off of it, and we'll go from there. Because if you have to keep on paper, you're going to want to dab that excess water. You don't want to drag that into your kit. So one thing I'm going to do is I kind of test it, and I can tell it's loose. So we're going to go here, get it laid down, and get it squared right. And sometimes you kind of got to work with some of them. Depends on the water. So we got that. I took out the excess water some, and then I'm just using that to get this And sometimes, yep, it does that. So, you know, sometimes these things get crazy. They like to twist and get broke. And sorry about the phone, guys. But we'll get it in there. So, there we go. Don't, if something like that happens, don't get upset, guys. It happens. Just take your time. Be a little more patient. Make sure you got that patient ready. And then I'll go and push it out. And sometimes you notice when you push out the air, they like to move. So we fix them like so. So I'll go again one more time with the cotton swab. Okay, that's good. Then I'll do my microsaw, and sometimes when you add this, it likes to move. So again, it's because of the moisture. So we'll, yep, and then you got, because of this stuff, sometimes it's really iffy. There. That's good. So sometimes if you use a microsaw, if you're not, some decals like Mobius I've noticed over time is once you put the microsaw, hopefully your decal stays where it's at, because once you put that on, it starts getting into that decal even more and starts setting it down. So you really don't want to do what I just did and try to touch it. Sometimes you're great. There's decals that, wow, this stuff really works. This decal really great. And there's some that's just like crazy man. So there we go. Let's see if I can get that in the camera for you. So there's the first two on the bow, and I'm not going to keep you guys watching while I put decals on. I'm not going to do that. But so I'm going to get this finished, and I'll come back when they're all done and give you guys a show on that. So see you in a little bit. Hey guys, back. A couple of hours, got all the decals done. Let me turn that on. I was trying to see if you could see, but while there's, there you can see on the pods and engine, and then right there, and yeah, right down that side too. So got them done, and I want to talk about something I made a mistake earlier. I talked to you about the micro saw. I have it, and it's good. It usually helps me set cows. But what I meant to tell you guys was Solvaset. Weather Solvaset. This is the best stuff I can use. And I made a mistake earlier when I was setting the decals for you, but there. Use Solvaset. This is gonna, what it does is it gets into the decal and then it brings it down to the model, and it fills it in. It, like, if you see right here, right there where the circle is, there's a bunch of panel lines and raised detail. So as this, when it dries, it'll make it look like it's part of it. So that's what I'm going for. So sorry about that, guys, but so what's next is I'm gonna go and work on the base and get all that boring stuff done, and when I come back I'll show you, and hopefully, like I said, this being Wednesday, hopefully we'll have this all done for you guys on Friday. But we're gonna let this completely dry, and then I'm gonna hit the decals with a gloss coat so it puts those in, and then I'm gonna go through and I'm weather. Now I know we talked about I talked about wanting to do extra details with all the detail in here, the piping and all that, but the more I look at it, the more I'm just happy and staying with the TOS 1 scale look. I did do some Aztecing, so it helps define the different panels, but I kind of like the overall color. It looks like she's gonna come down and kick your butts. But so what I'm gonna do is I am gonna weather it and do some dusting, but pretty much this is done, except for getting it, do that little bit of weathering and get it done. But the model's done for that, except for that. So we're gonna go in there and I'll show you guys what I do when I go to get a nice good weather effect, the different things I do. So I'll probably see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of the base, and when we come back tomorrow, it's Thursday, and we'll be ready to start doing the weathering and finish this up here in a couple of days, unless I find something else I messed up on. But alright guys, so we'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Hey guys, it's Thursday, it's in the afternoon. I've been doing some work before I decided to record, but as you can see, maybe I've already started to do some weathering on the ship. Let me show you the front, and I've wiped some of it off. Let's see if I can get that in there. And now I'm working on getting the rest. I had to do the top and the sides there, and the pods, and you can see maybe on the left side that I still have to clean. So basically, what I'm using is Vallejo. The Vallejo Model Wash. And when you do washes on kits, you can usually let them get semi-dry and then go ahead and do a what you want to do is mineral spirits is what I use. It's odorless, it's great, it cleans up the washes really well. And use a t-shirt, scrap of a t-shirt, kind of like that. Or the other thing I've been doing because of the ship is I've gone and I've been going through quite a few key tips because of the detail on this. I want to make sure that I'm not overly letting the recessed areas get too dark. I'm making sure to clean them up, make them look good. So when the kit is seen, it looks battle worn, it looks well. And that's what I'm doing. The other thing I was doing before I decided to record was I've got, let me zoom out of that. I've got the base already set up. I went ahead and epoxied my plug-in switch. I've got my turn-on switch. I've got them wired, and I've got the recess drilled out for those. So, like I said, I like this base. I think it's going to look really good, and I'm going to have it going from a 12 to 6 position. So that's where we're at. And so, for you guys that have never used washes and have been thinking about it, let me show you real quick. So we're going to show you on this one just how easy it is. There we go. So as you can see, there's a lot of color on there, and basically I got to put a little pressure to get it out, but not a lot. And as you can see on the tip, it does pick up the color. Now what you're looking for is you want to try to get most of it back to that base color. So you want to get the really dark splotches, like when you brush this on, when you're cleaning it, to get that nice clean effect. So I'll get part of this done here so you guys can see. And yes, like I said, I use Q-tips to help me with it, so I can get deep in those recesses and get this stuff out, as you can see what I'm doing. So there you go. So I've just done this area right here, and I've taken out the weathering, and I still got a little more to do. But what it does is this wash helps get into the deep part of the detail of the kit, and gives it that nice shadow. While we can get the flats and the edges around these detail pieces shadowed up so it shows that detail. But I'm not going to leave, like I said, let me show you if you can see. I'm not going to leave that. I'm going to get that cleaned up. So I'm going to get back to work, and once I get this all, the top part, I'm actually going to clean the top, turn it over, do the bottom, let it dry, and then get that cleaned, and then I will show you what it looks like when she's all done. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, welcome. It's Sunday. Oh, 2 days without a video. I was trying to get things done at home, and I did some work that wasn't worth really recording on the Galactica, finishing up some stuff, and I ran into problems. So, well, as you guys can see, I am done with the paint. I'm done with everything. I've already got it matte coated and looks good to me, and I like it. I decided not to do any extra paint details. I just went with what I did pre-shading, and then my wash and all that, which is in the video. But I went with this, so I'm very happy with it. Let's flip her over there a little bit so you guys can see the bottom. So, always the best saying, when you're trying to get something done, then something else happens. And give me just a second. Let me get Galactica turned back over. And I'll show you the end here, if you guys try to show you a good view of that. So, yeah. So, I ran into something new. So I'll grab the base and all that. I was trying a new epoxy, and I was trying this one, JB Weld, which is fine. I like most of the epoxies, But I used to grab one that had a tube on it, and it was a one-time use only. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna think about, you know, getting another one that I can do in tubs, and then I can just supply as needed. Well, while this is good, and it's a good epoxy, and it's a plastic bonder, here is the problems. As you can tell here, when it dries, it gunks, and it is not a clear coat or anything. So I'm having to scrape this away, and I'm gonna have to repaint the base here and do restaining on the woodwork as soon as I get this all cleaned up. And then the other problem is, I thought I had it in place enough, and well, my base kept coming down, so I have to fix that. So I'm going to do all that work today, and like I said, next week Galactica will be done when I get the fixes done, and we'll do that in another video. But I just want to let you guys know, I do apologize for not getting this done. I know some of you guys are probably, hey, you know, Buck's got the next video up, and oh crap. Just understand, guys, when you build models, and especially my fellow model builders, Murphy's Law, what tends to happen always does. So I'm going to get that fixed. It shouldn't take me too long, and get this cleaned up and repainted. And I've gone back to my tried and true the epoxy. This stuff actually does dry quite clear and is very good. So I'm going to use this and get the Galactica mounted, finish wiring the base, and get it all done. I've already got everything else done. I've got the wires, I've got things secured, except for the post. Better, because I got to cut that down, and I'm going to apply another coat of epoxy that I'm making up here underneath. So guys, being Sunday, I am going to slowly go back to work at this and get going good on it Monday. So until then, guys, thanks. Hey guys, well, this excuse me, this makes the end of this week, and I know at the beginning of the video I was hopefully going to get done with Galactica. I got a lot of work done on her, but as you've seen at the end of the video, I was having issues with the base, and I took a couple of days, did some light things around on the model, and did some stuff around the house, besides my physical therapy and meetings with doctors. So until next time, guys, hopefully Galactica will be finished up this next week, and I'm going to get this video put together for you guys, hopefully today, being Sunday. I'll get this set up for you guys, and yeah, I know, trying to get everything done, and sometimes I can, sometimes I can't, but hey, that's model builders, right? We try to do our best, and then the kits like to play around with us. They have a mind of their own. But guys, thank you for watching, and thank you for your support and your comments. So until next time, guys, until next week, be safe, be good, have a great week, and I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.